days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk that. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the show, everyone. It's going to be a good one because we're going to be talking about the 49ers pass game. What's it going to look like in 2022? We have a new quarterback. We have some new weapons. Is it going to be completely different, Alex, or could it be a little bit of business as usual?
Well, look, I could be long-winded about this, but TCC, let us know what you think in the comment section down below first and foremost. That's the most important part because who cares what I have to say? And then after that, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already, and that notification bell. That way you don't miss more episodes and they don't miss training camp position battles and any live streams that are coming your way, because you don't want to miss that. Tons of content happening right here on the 49ers Cutback. Best way, be subscribed, be notified, hit that bell, ring it. It's pretty easy. It's easy to notice. It's really hard to miss. So do that. And then while you're doing that, you can continue listening to the sultry voice of what we have to think here, because the pass game is something that I'm actually extremely excited about for the first time in a long time. Now, past few years has been exciting about the pass game because of the wide receiver play, right? The improvement at the wide receiver room, from Deebo Samuel and Emmanuel Sanders to Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, to those same names and same pieces, but another year down the road, as well as the addition of Ray McCloud, as well as the continual elevation of Jauan Jennings, and obviously Danny Gray. Those all make huge, big upticks for the 49ers. But specifically, obviously, because of Trey Lance. I mean, it can't be anything else other than Trey. And look, the reality is that the pass game is going to look different this year. It is going to, because Trey has a different strength than Jimmy. I don't expect to see a whole lot of Trey Lance throwing dimes between three defenders in the middle of the field. I do expect to see a lot more 50-50 deep balls. I do expect to see the 49ers taking more shots vertically downfield and potentially even outside the numbers. Maybe more comeback routes, rail routes than we've ever seen in San Francisco in the Kyle Shanahan era. More akin to what we saw with him in Atlanta with Matt Ryan, who had a cannon of an arm and could throw outside the numbers. You're going to see a different offense in terms of where they're looking to attack the field. It's going to change, which is going to change the way defenses play against them. But that being said, Ant, I don't expect to see a 30, 50 passes per game 49ers offense. In fact, I expect to see a run-heavy offense that just attacks the pass game differently.
Yeah, I think at times it's going to look different, and at times it's going to look exactly the same. And I think the way that Kyle Shanahan still approaches this offense is going to be the same it's always been, right? Run first, pass second. Now, there's going to be elements to this pass game that are going to be big time because of the run game and the play action pass. The addition of some particular players in the talent pool is going to allow the 49ers to attack certain areas. And it was very important for the 49ers to get a guy that could take the top off the defense. Trey Lance's ability to be able to throw the ball deep down the field is going to be something that's going to open things up over the middle. The one thing with Jimmy Garoppolo, though he was so good over the middle of the field, every team knew it too. And he wasn't really willing to go outside the numbers consistently, wasn't willing to take those deep shots consistently. Even when Kyle Shanahan dialed up big plays down the field, sometimes he would go another way. So I think Trey Lance being able to hit those plays will change the way that these defenses play them, because now you're going to have to cover the grass outside the numbers, and you're going to have to cover the grass deep. That means safeties can't come into the box and take away those deep middle passes that he likes to run, those deep crossers. But I think those things being opened up for Trey Lance and Kyle Shanahan mean that the playbook overall opens up. Now, in some regards, you're going to see the same thing, because you're going to see the play action. You're going to see Trey Lance under center. You're going to see him moving the pocket. Those things are going to stay the same. The things that are going to be different are just the areas at which they get attacked. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. So I think you're going to see a bit of difference and a bit of the same, but I do think there's more dynamic ability than ever because of Trey Lance, Danny Gray, and the overall development of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Jauan Jennings. And you just throw in the fact Ray McCloud's on this team, and the way Kyle Shanahan talked about him at the state of the franchise was he wanted him as a wide receiver. It wasn't a special teams who could also play wide receiver, but a wide receiver. He wanted him on this team. He has something in mind for him. I just wonder what it's going to be.
That's going to be the most intriguing, interesting part about all of this is because we don't necessarily know what those defined roles are for Ray McCloud, for Danny Gray, right? We don't know what Jordan Matthews is potentially going to look like at the tight end position. And if he were the guy to make the roster there, if he was the next guy in, what does that mean for the offense? Are we going to see more 2 tight end sets with him and Kittle? Will we see 2 tight end set situations with him and Tyler Kroft? Will it just be Kroft and Kittle and they use Kroft as the blocker, or vice versa, using Kittle more as a blocker in certain situations when they feel they need it and letting Kroft go out and run those routes? I don't know. I'm going to be intrigued regardless, no matter which way it goes in terms of how this offense pans out. But the reality is that Trey Lance is going to be the thing that makes this thing tick. And how they decide to attack the field is going to play specifically to Trey's strengths. Yes, Kyle is going to want him to do certain things, to put the ball in certain areas of the field. We all can agree on that. We all know that is the case. Kyle Shanahan is a schemer, and he schemes things. He wants the ball to be out on time to a certain guy, especially when you have a certain coverage, and he makes the call. That being said, there are going to be times, like you talked about, Ant, the off-scripted stuff, where you may call something, you may see something, you may think something, and the team makes the right counter call. Right? They predict the move. They see the move coming from a mile away, even if they don't show their hand. They know it's coming. Kyle falls for the trap, and they fall for the bait, and Trey recognizes it and doesn't throw it, and instead scrambles a little bit, extends the play, and all of a sudden you have an off-schedule play, you have an off-scripted play in which anything could happen, and you're talking about home run potentiality for the 49ers. That could completely change how the offense operates and functions and how it attacks the field. But at the end of the day, that balance is still going to exist, and the predication on the run game being the thing that is the foundation, the thing that sets up the pass game, is still going to be of the utmost importance to San Francisco and to Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is, and the run game is always going to be the most important to Kyle Shanahan, and that's why there's so much emphasis on the running game, and then also the emphasis on making sure he has a really good running back coach, Anthony Lynn, that he kept Chris Forrester to be able to run this run game. So I do think that is a very important aspect of the 49ers offense. And then what they do in the passing game off of that is going to be fun, but each player adds something different to this, whether it's Deebo Samuel's versatility and the things that he can do, and the fact that when he moves, everyone's going to be watching him. The fact that Brandon Ayuk is the one that can create separation, and he can beat man coverage. Now, all the talk has been actually that Jawan Jennings is better at it than Brandon Ayuk, creating separation. It is crazy with the speed factors and all that, but Jawan Jennings' emergence is also going to help take this team to another level. It's one of those guys that can convert in the big plays. If you go back and watch the playoff run, when it got to third down, that is who Jimmy Garoppolo often wanted to look for, was Jawan Jennings. It was Deebo Samuel and Jawan Jennings more than it was Kittle and Brandon Ayuk, which is kind of surprising because we know that chemistry that he had with George Kittle. So I'm curious exactly who Trey Lance builds that chemistry with. I think the natural thought is that it's going to be Brandon Ayuk. But I think when it comes down to it, it's hopefully the guy that's open, because the way that Kyle Shanahan schemes it, somebody's going to get open. You just have to be willing to take that. And if Trey can do that, I think that's going to be exciting. And the other aspect of the game, because the run game is going to be so prevalent in this offense, is the RPOs. Can Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance get to where they can run RPOs and really move these linebackers with that movement and allow Trey Lance some really easy throws on these slants to Ayuk and Deebo? We both know they can do those at a high level. And if one of them catch the ball and they got some space, they can house call it. These RPOs could be huge for the 49ers because you have the fear of Trey Lance not only giving the ball, but keeping the ball as well. That could open up a whole new aspect to this offense that we didn't really get with Jimmy. We got some RPO, and he would operate it pretty well, especially when he turned his back to the defense in 2019.
Glorious in 2019.
Yeah, I think it'll be a different way of them handling it with Trey Lance, but it could be even more beneficial.
We're going to see in the shortened release, slightly shortened release, and the 3/4 release now of Trey Lance could help in that area, in that aspect as well. So we're going to see how the 49ers decide to attack it, what areas of the offense and what areas of the field they make adjustments to in terms of how they attack. And Kyle Shanahan is going to have his hands full at it because there's going to be high expectations for this offense this year, and it's already being set by a lot of places, especially Draft Network, that thinks it's going to be the Trey Lance show in 2022. But what do you think the pass game looks like, TCC? Chat right now down below. Make sure you're commenting away. Make sure you let us know what you think. And while you're down there commenting away, let us know who you think the breakout performer is going to be in this offense in the passing game department. Will it be Deebo Samuel again, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, or is it just going to be Trey Lance? The only thing you care about this year is Trey Lance. He's the only person that could wow or surprise you. I want to hear about it in the comment section below right now.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think there's a lot of ways this offense is going to be different. And then they're still going to be building on the base foundation of what they do well. So I'm excited about the evolution of this offense with Trey Lance at quarterback. We know it means it's opening up, more of the field. But where do you think that biggest, strength is going to be? Is it going to be the RPO game? Is it going to be play action? Is it going to be, like Alex said, hitting those deep comebacks, those 17 to 20 yard comebacks that Kyle Shanahan hasn't had in the offense since Atlanta? If they return, that could open up some big-time opportunities. And when you have a player like Danny Gray and that speed to be able to take the top off the defense, what do those defensive players want to do? They want to turn and run with that guy, creating a lot of separation, a lot of opportunities for Danny Gray to catch those passes.
And also setting up those double move situations and for big shots down the sideline. Love me some double moves. If you're sweating with anticipation like I am for this pass game, make sure you hit that like button right now. Comment about how excited you are, and we'll catch you on the next one, TCC. And until that time, stay safe.
And remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.